Good evening to our viewers watching on television and those joining us online across our social media platforms. I am Adana Dorek with the Monday, May 11th edition of the Guyana TV9 News. In the headlines tonight, affordable OZEMPIC alternative could reach Guyana in 2 months, says Health Minister, warns against misuse. Government cautions farmers against splitting acreage to gain higher rice subsidies. We have to deliver. Vice President JAGDEO says silence was about governance, not health. Guyana confident as ICJ hearings against Venezuela conclude. And President urges diaspora to help drive accelerated national development agenda. Now for the news in depth. At a diaspora engagement in Canada, President Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali met with members of the Guyanese Canadian community in a packed forum that brought together municipal officials, parliamentarians, community leaders, and religious representatives. The meeting was framed as a direct dialogue between the government of Guyana and its overseas citizens. More in this report.
In welcoming the diaspora, President Irfan Ali acknowledged their long-standing contributions to Guyana's development. He stressed that national progress cannot be achieved without their full participation, describing them as integral to the development and advancement of Guyana. He said their involvement has shaped multiple phases of the country's national transformation.
I want to acknowledge all of you and welcome you to what I would consider an important forum, because for us, our development will be incomplete without the full participation of the members of our diaspora. After all, you're integral to the development and advancement of our country, and you all played a significant role in supporting the development of Guyana at different phases in our national transformation.
His Excellency President Ali outlined a broad vision of Guyana's economic future, saying the country is now advancing at a pace that requires acceleration, not caution. He said Guyana is positioning itself within the global economy as a competitive and resilient state, aiming to balance energy development with environmental leadership. He pointed to initiatives such as the Global Biodiversity Alliance, which has already secured support from more than 120 international partners.
We are fortunate to be in a position where Guyana is advancing at a pace and speed that is really creating ripples around the world. This is not the time to relax or a time to slow down. This is a time when we must even accelerate at a far greater pace. We must be able to advance our development at not only a greater pace, but with clarity on where we want to position our country globally.
President Ali also emphasized that development is not only about infrastructure, economic growth, but also about values and behavior. He urged citizens to take greater personal responsibility for their communities and environment, saying national success depends on how we behave, how we treat each other, and the values we uphold. He described these as the foundation of national progress. President Ali highlighted the government's use of digital systems to track and respond to citizen concerns in real time. He revealed that nearly 600 diaspora emails were analyzed ahead of the meeting, covering investment, housing, land issues, and service delivery. He said responses were already being sent back to participants, reinforcing what he described as a data-driven approach to governance. The president also pointed to major national infrastructure projects, including new bridges and highways, as well as the development of Silica City, a planned, modern, sustainable urban center. He described it as part of a long-term vision to transform Guyana into a global model of sustainable development and investment opportunity for both citizens and the diaspora. Melanie Morris, Guyana TV9 News.
A more affordable version of widely used diabetics and weight loss medication OZEMPIC could soon become available in Guyana, according to Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anthony. Details in this report.
Speaking on the most recent episode of the Starting Point podcast, Dr. Anthony revealed that a pharmaceutical company has already submitted an application to register a generic version of the drug with Guyana's Food and Drug Department, and the approval process is currently underway. He said the medication could hit the local market within the next 2 months if regulatory review is completed successfully.
Very soon, I would say maybe in another 2 months or so, the generic version of OZEMPIC would be made available on the local market, because I know one of the companies that are manufacturing OZEMPIC have applied for its registration here in Guyana.
OZEMPIC and similar medications have gained global popularity for their effectiveness in treating type 2 diabetes and aiding weight loss. However, Dr. Anthony stressed that the drug must only be used under strict medical supervision. He warned that while the medication has helped many patients, improper use could pose serious health risks.
So this is not a non-prescription item. You have to get a prescription, somebody got to supervise your care. And I think people should stick to what these medications were intended for.
Dr. Anthony also urged persons seeking rapid weight loss to avoid abusing the medication and to use it only for its intended medical purpose. The anticipated arrival of a cheaper generic alternative is expected to increase access for Guyanese patients, particularly as demand for Ozempic-style medication continues to rise worldwide. Melanie Morris, Guyana TV9 News.
Winston Hazel has been sentenced to 3 years in prison and fined $871,000 after being found guilty of possession of narcotics for the purpose of trafficking, involving 5.814 kilograms of cocaine. Hazel appeared before Fabio Azor at the Georgetown Magistrates Court on Thursday, April 30th, 2026, where the sentence was handed down. The case stems from a March 2022 operation conducted by Customs Anti-Narcotic Unit officers in the Geico Park, Tocqueville area, during which officers intercepted a motor vehicle carrying 2 occupants. A search of the vehicle led to the discovery of 5 parcels of cocaine with a total weight of 5.814 kilograms. The conviction marks the conclusion of a case that began more than 4 years ago. We will be back after the short break. Stay tuned.
GCOM is currently conducting a national registration exercise. Who can register? Anyone who will be 14 years or older by June 30, 2026, and is a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent, naturalization, or is a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more. How to apply for registration? You must visit the GCOM registration office that is responsible for your area of residence to apply for registration, name change, or correction. You must have the following source documents as might be relevant: original birth certificate or valid Guyana passport for new registration, original marriage certificate and original birth certificate in the case of a name change by marriage, original deed poll and original birth certificate in the case of a name change by deed poll, original naturalization certificate and original birth certificate or valid passport in the case of naturalization. This registration exercise will end on May 29, 2026. You need to apply for a transfer if you now live at a different address than the one you were registered at. For more information, contact GCOM on 225-027729 or visit www.gcom.org.gy. GCOM is currently conducting a national registration exercise. Who can register? Anyone who will be 14 years or older by June 30, 2026, and is a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent, naturalization, or is a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more. It is the civic duty and legal responsibility of all Guyanese who meet the eligibility criteria to apply for registration. By so doing, you will be ensuring that you are issued a national identification card and be included in the official list of electors for future elections, provided you meet all eligibility criteria. This registration exercise will end on May 29, 2026. You need to apply for a transfer if you now live at a different address than the one you were registered at. For more information, contact the GCOM on 225-027729 or visit www.gcom.org.gy. www.ghcom.org.gy.
Welcome back. You're watching the Guyana TV9 News Bulletin. Vice President JAGDEO has broken weeks of public silence, dismissing swirling rumors about his health and political future while declaring that the government is shifting from campaign mode to the hard realities of governing. Speaking to reporters on Monday, JAGDEO said his reduced public appearances were not the result of illness or political retreat, but a deliberate move to focus on planning major national projects following the government's decisive election victory. Here's more.
For months, speculation had intensified across the political circles and social media, with claims ranging from serious illness to suggestions that the veteran politician was stepping back from frontline leadership. Vice President JAGDEO brushed aside the rumors with visible frustration, saying critics misunderstood the demands of governance after an election campaign that consumed months of intense public engagement.
Speculating about me, they said I'm sick, I have cancer, all of that is, they don't understand. The elections were over, we campaigned aggressively, we won a big majority, 7 seats majority in the parliament. My role changed from general secretary of the party and shifting from campaign to planning.
The vice president stated that while the public may have seen less of him, critical government work was happening behind closed doors. He pointed to ambitious development targets, including the construction of 40,000 homes and efforts to shield Guyana's booming economy from the dangers of the Dutch disease, an economic imbalance that can emerge when rapid oil wealth overwhelms other sectors. JAGDEO said these challenges require strategy, technical coordination, and long-term planning rather than consistent political appearances. Vice President JAGDEO further stated that his absence was a necessary shift in priorities, insisting that governance now demands implementation over rhetoric. According to the vice president, the administration's focus has turned squarely toward fulfilling promises made during the election campaign and ensuring economic growth translates into tangible benefits for citizens across the country. The vice president also signaled a return to a more visible public role, confirming that his regular press conferences would resume soon. However, he made clear that the tone of these engagements would be different from the politically charged atmosphere of the campaign season, with greater emphasis on policy execution and national development.
My press conference would resume, but they will address mainly government issues, not so much a political issue. We've done the campaign, and now we have to deliver on the campaign. That is what we're working on, delivering us.
Melanie Morris, Guyana TV9 News.
Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa has cautioned that law enforcement will be engaged if farmers try to manipulate the government's newly announced subsidy program by splitting up declared acreage among relatives in order to receive higher payments. Here's more.
Speaking at a farmers' meeting at Auckland Primary School in Quarantine Region 6, East Berbice Quarantine, the minister addressed concerns about the implementation of the government's $3 million support initiative for the rice sector. Under the program announced by President Dr. Mohamed Irfan, farmers cultivating 50 acres or less are eligible for $15,000 per acre, while those with more than 50 acres will receive $10,000 per acre. Minister Mustafa said the structure is intended to provide greater support to smaller producers while still assisting larger farms. He noted that officials have already observed attempts by some farmers to recognize or divide acreage declarations among family members in response to the new payment system. He stressed that such actions would not be accepted, pointing out that the Guyana Rice Development Board already maintains detailed cultivation records that can verify farm sizes. The minister had reiterated what was said at an earlier meeting in Blackbush Pola, that any deliberate effort to defraud the program could trigger police involvement, underscoring the government's commitment to ensuring transparency and proper use of public funds. Mustafa also situated the subsidy within wider support measures for the rice industry, which he said is facing pressure from falling paddy prices and rising production costs. He referenced global factors, including supply disruptions affecting fertilizer prices, while reaffirming agriculture's continued importance to Guyana's economy alongside the expanding oil and gas sector.
The oral hearings in Guyana's historic border case against Venezuela before the International Court of Justice in The Hague officially concluded today, marking a major step toward a final ruling in the decades-long border controversy. Attorney General Mohamed Anel Nandlal said Guyana is now more confident than ever that the court will uphold the 1899 arbitral award, which legally established the boundary between Guyana and Venezuela. The court is expected to issue its final legally binding judgment in the coming months. Guyana says the case is not just about territory, it is about upholding international law, peace, and the rule of law. The government also reaffirmed its commitment to respecting whatever decision the court makes while urging Venezuela to do the same. This long-standing controversy must end peacefully, finally, and in accordance with international law, the Attorney General stated. A final ruling could bring closure to a border dispute that has persisted for more than 60 years. Commissioner of Police Clifton Hicken stated that the action of anti-crime officers involved in a controversial stop-and-search operation while condemning what he described as improper interference by a senior officer. He said body-worn cam footage confirmed the ranks acted lawfully during the operation. More in this report.
Hicken stressed that anti-crime officers are legally empowered to stop and search vehicles during intelligence-led operations under the Criminal Offences Act and Summary Jurisdiction Act. He said the incident highlights the importance of accountability and evidence-based policing within the Guyana Police Force. The commissioner revealed that more than 5,000 body-worn cameras are now deployed across police divisions nationwide. According to him, the cameras are strengthening transparency, protecting officers, and providing objective evidence during police interactions with the public.
With a total of 5,384 across our police divisions. While there was initial resistance, we are seeing a clear shift, with ranks recognizing the value of these tools and actively using them. When I see the body-worn cameras ensure transparency, first of all, protect officers, and provide an accurate objective record for every action taken in the fields.
Hicken also announced that the Guyana Police Force is moving aggressively towards full digitization. He said plans are already underway to modernize reporting systems and expanding technology-driven policing as part of the force's long-term strategic transformation. Attention then turned to serious threats made against KANU Director James Singh following a recent narcotics interception. Hicken described the threats as a direct attack on national security and warned that law enforcement agencies are treating the matter with urgency.
Threat against Mr. James Singh is a threat against the rule of law itself. This will not be tolerated under any circumstances. Mr. Singh, in his capacity as head of KANU, plays a critical role in leading national and regional efforts against narcotics trafficking, and everybody knows that. And transnational organized crime too. Any attempt to intimidate his leadership in an attack on the state ability to enforce the law, Marcy, we're gonna deal with that investigation, and we're treating it like the first offense we would have known. James Singh is a director, and we cannot have members of the public threatening his image like that.
The commissioner said intelligence units KANU, the Guyana Defense Force, NISA, and other security agencies are actively investigating the threats. He warned that anyone using online platforms or other channels to intimidate law enforcement officials will be identified, arrested, and prosecuted as authorities continue efforts to dismantle criminal networks operating across Guyana. Adana Dorek, Guyana TV9 News.
We will be back after the short break. Stay tuned.
Want to place your death announcements and in memoriam messages on Channel 9? Call 592-761-5006, 710-5008, 600-5006. Or visit our office at Lot 85A Lamaha Street, Albertown, Georgetown, Century 21 Building.
Guyana, Channel 9 is now Guy TV9, proudly under new management. We're building stronger with a balanced and open platform for all advertisers. Whether you're promoting a business, service, or event, your message belongs right here. So choose your spot, news, prime time, or anytime, and reach viewers across Guyana. With affordable rates and professional service, Guy TV9 is your partner in progress. So visit us at Lot 21A, Lamaha Street, Georgetown, in the Century 21 building, or call 600-5006 or 761-5006. Guyana TV9. New leadership, fresh outlook, real results.
GCOM is currently conducting a national registration exercise. Who can register? Anyone who will be 14 years or older by June 30, 2026 and is a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent, naturalization, or is a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more. Persons eligible for registration must visit the GCOM registration office responsible for their area of residence to apply. Persons who are already registered could apply for a name change if they have changed their names since they were registered, apply for corrections if there is incorrect information on their national ID cards. Persons who are desirous of conducting any of the above transactions must provide the relevant supporting documents. Persons who are already registered must collect their new ID cards if they have not yet done so. This registration exercise will end on May 29, 2026. You need to apply for a transfer if you now live at a different address than the one you were registered at. For more information, contact the GCOM on 225-027729 or visit www.gcom.org.gy. GCOM is currently conducting a national registration exercise. If you have moved to a new address since you were registered, you are required to update your address by applying for a transfer to ensure your address is accurate. Where to apply for a transfer? Visit the GCOM registration office responsible for your area of residence to apply for a transfer. When to apply for a transfer? You can apply to have your address updated during this national registration exercise. This registration exercise will end on May 29, 2026. The office hours for GCOM are: permanent registration offices open Monday to Thursdays from 8 to 12 hours and 13 to 16 hours 30, and on Fridays from 8 to 12 hours and 13 to 15 hours 30. The offices will be closed on weekends and holidays. For more information, contact the GCOM on 225-027729 or visit www.gcom.org.gy.
Welcome back. You're watching the Guyana TV9 News Bulletin. Turning to regional news, the High Court has ordered the government to pay $2.97 million in damages to two men unlawfully detained in prison for decades after being found unfit to plea. Justice Alvin Shiva Parisingh described the case of one of the most serious constitutional violations in St. Lucia's history, citing systematic failures that left the men imprisoned without proper psychiatric care or review. Internationally, South Africa's parliament will form an impeachment committee to reinvestigate allegations that President Cyril Ramaphosa concealed the theft of over $500,000 in cash from his game ranch. The move follows a constitutional court ruling that a 2022 vote blocking impeachment was unconstitutional. Ramaphosa denies wrongdoings and faces no immediate vote. Those are our major headlines for tonight's newscast. For more trending stories, follow us on our Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube platforms at GUI TV9. I'm Adana Darik. Thank you for watching.